y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. E-double-L. I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like Bledsoe. Ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful. And I got plenty of bread, so I go to bed full. I'm in it to win it, to win it. I'm all in. I might call you my cuz, young blood, but we ain't kin. You think of jumping, man, you best think again. The dirty, I'm the type of man that might go broke for revenge. Had some not so nice friends, kick the door off the hinge, take the door off your bins, pop up my four of your friends, man, please. This shit ain't cynical, man, no subliminal. I'm physical, financial, and mental to be a general. Hey, the mama claims she want a soldier, not the type be in the tank, but in that Rover. Man, please, I'm in the zone like AIDS full blown. I'm killing it like a blind man reading. I'm feeling it like, oh yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. He think he got her when he know he's off his butter. He ain't never been a fighter. You can go and ask his mother. I'm a lover and a fighter, producer and a writer. Give your girl a quick fix and give your man a nice shiner. You know y'all don't really want it, and I can tell just by looking at you that you the type to run and go and tell just by looking at you. You on a mission for recognition by dissing. Didn't have no problem till the record started breaking, but y'all don't really want it. So let me tell you the deal. I'm also serious. I'm dirty. I'm no longer for real. I'm like a hop, skip, and a jump, a clock grip on the pump. From leaving you in the trunk, somewhere prepared to dump. But y'all don't really want it, so quit acting like you're deaf. I'm looking to my right, trying to see who's left. So you better watch it before I stick to the plan and be the next artist to run up in your stand. Like, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it, man. Y'all don't really want it, don't really want it. Y'all don't really want it with me. I know you shook, man. You ain't built for a skirt as a nigga can be. It's gon' sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming for ya. It's gon' sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I come for ya. It's gon' sound like, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it now.
The thoughts and ideas expressed in this podcast are solely those of the authors and guests of the podcast. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Soberless Thoughts.
I'm Mike Erdenbeck.
I'm Alex Gorley.
And these are
Soberless Thoughts.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, things of all genders. This is Soberless Thoughts, your number one access to all things soberless.
That's right. All soberless news, which is just whatever falls out of your soberless mind.
Here's the thing. When you're soberless, you're not sober. Thus, you think things that you normally wouldn't think. Although I have noticed that some of the ideas that I've been writing down lately for this podcast have been coming to me while I'm sober.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary in a little bit.
Well, you know, there was that ancient civilization that always that used to do where they always would mull over ideas, once sober and once drunk. And if you come to the same conclusion, it's a great idea.
Oh,
And I feel like we're just living that life.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So tonight, I'm drinking. I think we've had this on here before. Rheingeist Luck
Yep. So I had it in my fridge.
Nitro.
Yeah. I'm drinking a Guinness, but I've been up for about an hour, so I'm actually drinking a Guinness non-alcoholic draft 0. But yeah, it is what it is.
Looks delicious. Actually, let me have a taste of that.
It's actually not bad.
Does it taste like Guinness?
A little bit. It's like the Diet Coke of Guinness. It like gets the job done. But
It actually has just a slight Guinness aftertaste.
right. Granted, these things do contain less than 0.5% alcohol, whatever. But as non-alcoholics go, this is probably my favorite. I got to be honest. If I'm going to drink one,
Yeah, it's like just the aftertaste.
right?
Like when you actually the initial taste is water,
Right.
and then it's
Then afterward, you're like,
like, oh, I get it now.
right. Oh,
I get it.
I sometimes like if being up in the middle of the night because I work night shift, sometimes I will crank out some NAs. It's weird. I work at a brewery, and like some of us guys will drink NAs after work, and mainly because we have to drive or it's like weird times of the night. But I've noticed I've been drinking them because like if I drink with the wife at like dinner time for most people, that's like breakfast for me. And then
Right.
I've got to spend the next 12 hours. You can't stop. You got to keep going. Because who just has like one cocktail at 8 in the morning?
Nobody.
Yeah, because then you sober up and you're like, ugh, like this is terrible. So I just circumvent that by just having like an NA, or in the middle of the night if I'm wanting a beer but trying to get shit done. That's what I've been doing.
There you go.
Yeah, even though I drank a couple NAs last night and then had an actual couple beers after that, and man, let me tell you how good real beer tastes after a couple NAs.
I bet.
Oh, dude, it was like I was turning into Will Ferrell. I was like, dude, it tastes so good. Like when it hits your lips.
When did you get the beer drinking sing along album up there?
You never noticed that
No.
back there? Never noticed that.
Never.
Oh, dude, I've had that for a hot minute. I bought that for the podcast maybe, I don't know, a year and a half ago. And it's just been one of those. I was like, I don't know where I would put this in. I mean, I could throw it on in the background. I got a record player right there.
Yeah.
But I listened to it one time, and it is not like. I mean, that picture says it. It is. Think of a Western saloon with some
Yeah.
guy like hitting the keys. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
like. I can't remember if there's like 99 bottles of beer on the wall, but yeah, like one of these days we'll throw it on and play it on in the background.
Yeah. We'll do that for a Rumble
Yeah,
exclusive.
because I guarantee you, whoever has the rights to that is probably long gone.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that
Oh,
thing's
I'm sure.
from like the 70s.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Tonight, I want to talk about, because the Super Bowl is like days away.
Right.
Days away. The big game.
Yeah.
Right?
The infamous game.
Yeah. So I want to talk about sports betting, one, and like what you think about it, if you do it, all that kind of thing. And then also I want to talk about whether or not professional sports are rigged.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes. Yes, we are definitely talking about this. Yep.
All right. So
I'm just a yes man.
just to start off, one, do you think that any professional sports are rigged?
I mean, you got to say yes to some degree because there's been like cases of people literally rigging games for bets. They got in trouble for it. So yeah, yes. In
Yes.
the simple form is yes.
People have been busted.
Yes, for sure. People have entirely been busted.
And if X amount of people have been busted, how many people have gotten away with it?
See, yes. Yes, exactly.
right?
There's I mean, you gotta think about it. No one, I don't know if your parents ever said this. No one gets caught the first time. They only get caught after like the third or fourth, fifth, 10, whatever.
Yeah,
Until they get greedy.
yeah.
Because you're careful the first time. And then next thing you know, you're basically just calling the refs. They're answering their cell phone. I'm thinking like, hey, they're up too much. Okay, hold on. Let me throw a BS penalty. And they're like, wait. Who were you just talking to? Oh, grandma. And then,
All right, so that's what I want to. That's the first thing that I want to say.
Right.
About the whole whether or not professional sports are rigged is if they are, and I'm saying that I think more likely than not that they are.
Right.
I think the way to do it, the best way to do it, is the referees.
Yeah.
Like every sport has referees.
Yeah.
And every sport can be controlled via the referees.
Yes, for sure.
And then there was even a NBA referee who got busted,
Oh, yeah.
and he came out and said, like, after, because he was busted making sports bets and stuff like that on the games,
Yeah.
and then he came out and said, like,
Given like your whole story, and we can get into the details of it, but I'm always curious, what's the biggest misconception you think that's out there about the fixing games and your entire career as an NBA ref?
Fixing games. I mean, people, some people think that I went out there and put Shaquille O'Neal to the bench or LeBron James to the bench so that some of these bets won. That's really not what happened. I picked the games based on relationships that existed between referees and players, referees and coaches, and referees and owners, and what took place in the morning meetings with the referees and what was going to be called that night and how a team was going to be put at an advantage or disadvantage.
So you're saying when you would call in a bet and be like, hey, take this side, you wouldn't then make sure that you called more fouls against the team that you bet against? Like,
No, I knew what the crew was going to go out and do that night and how a team was going to be put at an advantage. Maybe there was an emphasis that day on Kobe Bryant going to the basket, and there was a DVD sent in last week of plays that were missed by the referees. So I knew when the league came in and said, hey, listen, there's a problem here. Phil Jackson just sent in this DVD, 25 plays, Kobe getting fouled and nobody blowing the whistle. I knew the three of us were going to go out that night, and he was going to go to the line 25 times, and they were going to win by 15.
So how often would you get special instructions like that?
During the playoffs, every game. During the regular season, there were points of emphasis that came out probably once or twice a week. But during the playoffs, you sat in a room, and they showed you tape of the previous games, and they said this was missed. The referees got poor grades because they missed this, and this, and it was always for the team that was down in the series, and we knew basically what they wanted, and we went out and concentrated on those things, and the bets just flowed through.
So for that example, you would see that, okay, Kobe's going to get a lot of calls today. You'd call your buddy and say he's going to be on the foul line. Let's take the Lakers on this one. Then you would all go in together on the Lakers, or how would that work?
Definitely, I would just tell him. I didn't actually tell him why or what was going on. I would just say in a code, which is portrayed great in the movie, certain things of talking about Johnny or Chuck, which were Tommy Martino's brothers, in regard to if we're going to take the home or the away team. And we didn't really discuss how or why I was picking a game.
Okay, so you pick a game, you tell them, when you're running up and down the court and you're reffing an NBA game, things are moving a million miles an hour. Are you the whole time thinking about this spread?
No, because we won right out of the gate so many times. In fact, there were some points where Tommy and I really didn't care if we lost because we thought we were, so many red flags would be going up because, we won so much.
Right.
Was there ever a game when afterwards you were in the locker room and you're like, shit, that was really obvious. I did some stuff that's going to jump out on the tape?
No, because, again, I wasn't doing anything that the league didn't want done.
But you never, like in a close game when the line was getting down to it at the end, you never blew your whistle one time when it was maybe like, borderline. That would put, for me, if I were in your position, I would absolutely, even subconsciously, call more fouls, get it closer to covering the spread for myself.
And you know what? That's a great word that you just use, subconsciously, because that's what the FBI, I wrote a book, and in the book, Personal Foul, I talked about all this, and that was one thing that he wanted in the book that subconsciously I could have affected some of these games that way, because he was writing the forward for the book and said I told the truth at every turn. So that word that you just used was the word that Phil Scala, one of the FBI agents, said could have happened subconsciously, which is possible. But I can only tell you that I didn't go out there and send Kobe or Shaq or some of these big stars to the bench. I just did within the rules what the NBA wanted to do, and I knew who was going to be put at an advantage or a disadvantage. But I will say this: there was one game where Allen Iverson threatened Steve Javie, and we felt as a staff he should have been suspended, but he was only fined $25,000. I had the next game, and the two referees and myself in the morning meeting decided that Allen Iverson, although he carries the ball all the time and it's never called, we were going to enforce that rule against him that night. And we went out in the first half, and we all each took a turn. We had a pact. We're all going to call a palming violation on him, and we did that. And I did tell, Tommy to bet against Denver that night. And Iverson came up to me during a free throw, and he said, "Tim, how long is this going to go on for?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You know what I'm talking about." And I just smirked, and he smirked, and he knew it was, he was going to have a problem for the next couple of games for what he did.
So knowing all this, like how much, and I know the NBA was always said you're a lone wolf kind of situation. It's an isolated situation, but it sounds like the way you're describing it is every night the refs are talking about how they're going to officiate the game, and every night it could be different, and every night there could be some personal vendettas. Do you think that that's true?
100%. And in fact, I don't know if you guys know the name Michael Francisi. He was a famous captain in the Colombo crime family who's now out of jail and become a preacher, has left organized crime. He's on the record as saying that 3 NBA referees in the 1990s were on his personal payroll, and none of them were named Tim Donaghy. So I wasn't the only one passing along information. Was he paying them for them? I don't know what their setup was, but I'm sure he wasn't giving them chocolate bars,
Right, right. So the other thing, you've commented at times since the scandal, since you went to prison, that like you'll be like, hey, this series is going to go 7, or this series they're going to try to extend it. Is that something that you would talk about with the refs before a playoff game? Like, hey, the league needs us to go, 6 here. We need to get this game to 6, or we need to get this game to 7. Is that something that actually, because I think what happened more than anything with this scandal is that everyone got very paranoid about every game, and the NBA had a rigged feel to it. Do you think it is rigged?
Definitely manipulated. When you talk about Dick Bavetta in 2002, I don't know if you remember the famous Lakers-Sacramento Game 6, right?
Yep.
He openly said to a lot of us that he was the NBA's go-to guy. He was put on Game 6s to make sure they went to a Game 7, and that was one of the most fucked up, games in the history of the NBA.
Yes. Yep.
And when you talk about 3 referees supposedly making so many mistakes in a conference final game, where in America can you perform at that level in your job so poorly and still go to the next level and ref in the NBA Finals and get another bonus of $20,000? If they were so bad and the league was so upset, you think that they would have not moved to the next round, but they advanced to the next round and got paid for it.
So he told you personally, or he said openly out to the public, and maybe I'm unaware of it, that he is the NBA's guy when it comes to extended series. He's admitted that?
I don't know if he's admitted it, but he said it to a lot of us, and we all talked about it and laughed. In fact, when he was refereeing that game, we knew it was going to Game 7. We joked. We would call each other on the phone and say, Bavetta's, watch him. Look what he's doing.
Do you think it's been going on the whole time, or do you think it's been recent? Like, since sports betting has gained popularity, like, obviously, whenever you get money involved, that's always the great motivator.
Yeah.
So it's like, at what point do you think it was like the 70s? Was it the 80s? Was it the 90s? The Jordan years? Like what?
It could have been the whole time.
Could have been the whole time.
I don't know.
Mafia was in it early on, and then boom, they sort of get faded out by big corporations.
But did they?
Or they just became the corporations?
Yeah. Like, who owns Roger Goodell?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you got these people making ghost bets, blind bets for other people.
Yeah.
And then, if like the big thing going around the internet right now is NFL scripts.
Right. Yeah.
The NFL scripted, this is that. And there's been a couple NFL former NFL players that have came out. Some of them said that they were joking,
Right.
but a couple other ones still are stick to.
Yeah.
They don't say that it's a full on like script, like a movie script, like you're going to read, but it's definitely preordained
Yeah.
who's going to do what and when and where.
Right.
Super Bowl 37 champion Dwight Smith, who was a part of that team, 2 pick sixes. We all know what he did against the Raiders, but he joins us here in the Ronnie and T-Crash show as we count down to Super Bowl Sunday. Dwight, Ronnie, and Tom here. How are you? Welcome to the show. All right.
We haven't come in right.
There it is.
Oh, is that right? Well, we got a great matchup coming up with Super Bowl 55. Obviously, the Buccaneers are playing on their home field. They're not the home team, I guess. I guess you could say they're the home team, but it's supposed to be a neutral field. But just tell me, as a former Buccaneer, how surreal is this for the Bucs to be in the Super Bowl in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium?
That's a good question, man. I would like to ask some Tampa fans that question because I really don't know.
Well, I mean, this is something that no one's ever seen before. I mean, you're hosting the Super Bowl. The Bucs are in it. It's Brady versus Mahomes. I mean,
that was something I predicted at the beginning of the year. I said if the NFL wanted to have the home team in the Super Bowl, this would be the perfect year. Pandemic, people can't travel, so it's not a shock to me.
How big of an advantage do you think it will be for the Buccaneers not having to travel anywhere? Because obviously, when you were in the Super Bowl,
that's not no advantage. I don't have no advantage.
No advantage? Okay.
No.
All right, so
that's like saying they have advantage at every home game during the year. So I mean, it ain't like they won every home game, so it ain't much of an advantage. Yeah, y'all know all the X's and O's, man. I'm just sitting at home watching. I don't like to get into that because I don't believe the game is really decided on the field. So I don't get into all the X's and O's and talking, man. Like I said, I played in the game. I set a Super Bowl record and. We knew every play they was running before the game started. So, hey, who am I to say?
Well, tell us about that week leading up to the Super Bowl because that was the big thing. Bill Callahan was the Raiders coach at the time. Obviously, John Gruden had just come over. Tell us about that week of preparation leading up to the game and how it was executed by you guys. I mean, you could know which plays are coming. And
Tim Brown and Jerry Rice come out and say that they made them run John Gruden's offense.
Yes. Yep. It was his offense, and you guys knew exactly what was coming. Did you know every single play?
They didn't run that offense all year, though. Ain't it odd that you would run it when you're playing against us?
So did you guys know every play before the ball was snapped?
I'm just saying, man, the game ain't decided on the field. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I said, I predict who's gonna be in the Super Bowl. It ain't about who has the best players. Football is entertainment. So what's the most entertaining Super Bowl? The Bucs in their first one against Patrick Mahomes has nothing to do with if these are the best teams because we know that these aren't the best teams. The Bucs are not the best NFC team.
So who's the best team in the NFC, in your opinion?
The Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
But the Bucs beat them at Lambeau, though. I mean, the Bucs proved it. They went there. They beat Aaron Rodgers at his place.
You can say what you want, man. Like I say, the game ain't decided on the field.
But the Bucs beat Green Bay like 38-10 at Raymond James Stadium in the regular season.
You're not listening to me, man. You keep saying
So how is it decided then if it's not on the field?
The Giants won the Super Bowl in 2007. I had 2 pick sixes. One I took back 93 yards, another pick up there in New York. We beat them 40-something. We didn't have Adrian Peterson. They went on to win a Super Bowl. Like you go for who beat what and how? Like, come on, man. Stop that.
All right, so how do you see this one playing out on Sunday?
It depends on when Vegas make that call. How Vegas ain't gonna lose the most money.
So do you think the Bucs' original Super Bowl that you were a part of and won was illegitimate?
I think everyone is.
If you don't mind me asking then, and we obviously appreciate giving us a little bit of time, why do an interview for the Super Bowl if you don't believe that it's set up the right way?
Y'all asked me to. Don't nobody call me no other time until Super Bowl come, right?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Did anybody, when we got on the phone, say, hey, how's your family doing? How your kids doing? No, none of that matters. So I'm going to give you my honest opinion.
And I appreciate that. We do.
We do.
I mean, that is our job, though, is to talk sports. I mean, it's not personal.
So what is your honest...
job to be real.
We understand that. So what is your honest opinion of Tom Brady being in 10 Super Bowls?
Good luck. A lot of luck, you know.
Okay.
Because, you know, everybody say Tom Brady, but if I can remember, there's a lot of kickers kicking kicks for him to make it there.
Well, Tom Brady did put him in a position to make those
So did
kicks.
Jim Kelly. But his kicker missed the kick.
He did. He did miss a kick.
Right. He did.
He did miss a kick. He
Well,
also lost 4 Super Bowls in a row.
but it's Jim Kelly's fault. Or it's not Tom Brady's fault if his kicker do, like, come on, man. boy, man. We break stuff down like it's so small. Like, this is the only reason that it happened. Like, come on, man.
So the reason you guys won the Super Bowl wasn't because of your outstanding defense. It was because that's the way it was predetermined? That's what you're
Well, I
telling
mean,
us?
if our defense was so outstanding, why we couldn't beat the Saints that year? Saints beat us twice. So why did the Oakland Raiders say, we're going to go in with the Saints game plan? Because they had Deuce McCall, they ran the ball down our throat. Why didn't they come in and say, we're going to do the same thing?
All right, D.
Now there's no more one to talk.
Well, we don't know what else to say.
We're just caught off guard a little bit. That's
A
all.
little bit.
To be honest with you.
Let's talk about the fact that the Lions made Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders give back money, but they traded Matthew Stafford when he wanted to be.
Yeah, well, hey.
Barry Sanders didn't want to play for John Ross.
Let's not talk about the real things, man. Let's just talk about that. I got you, man. I got you.
Well, Barry Sanders didn't want to play for Bobby Ross, but that's another story for another day.
So
him and Calvin Johnson both asked to be traded. They wanted to go somewhere where they could try to win. They made them retire and give some of their money back.
All right, so let's, for just a second, I just want to get your thoughts on Patrick Mahomes and what he's done at his young age.
It's great, man. I mean, the key for me with most teams is let's see how your team performs after your quarterback rookie contract kicks in. After, he's off his rookie contract.
So what do you think about Jameis
Seattle,
Winston's time in Tampa Bay now that he's in New Orleans?
Never liked it. Now, back to what I was saying. We watched the Seattle Seahawks be good until they paid Russell Wilson. We watched the Packers go to the Super Bowl until they paid Aaron Rodgers. The Eagles would win. The Rams would golf. So, you got to try to do it while you're on your rookie deal, unless you got Tom Brady as your quarterback.
All right, so how do you see this game playing out? I guess it's you already told us, right? It's just depending on what Vegas wants it to be, right?
Yeah, the New England Rams game 10-3, man. Who thought that was happening?
All right, Dwight, man, we appreciate a few minutes.
See, do you think that's why players, because I always feel like it's players for the most part, get busted the most, is because they're manipulating the game without, like, the shot caller of the game? Like the higher-ups are like, wait, what is that? And the refs are like, we're trying our best, but something is off. And one of these guys are acting in their own interest. Because, like, you saw it more in baseball, especially, like, pitchers and stuff. So it's like, do you think that's why they get in trouble? They're like, we got to go back and look at the film, and they're like, oh, this guy is throwing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's like, because they're losing money. I mean, obviously, it boils down to money. It kind of makes you think, like, I bet you that's why they get busted first, because the refs are like, it's essentially a rival gang, another drug dealer in the area. Like,
right.
you gotta squash the competition.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So here's one thing with the NFL that I've noticed, and that other people analysis have been done, where an NFL ref can literally call a penalty on every single play.
Yeah.
Like, if you could have a holding, an offensive or defensive holding, they hold every play.
Right.
Like, if you just watch the line next time you watch an NFL game,
right?
Instead of watching the action where the ball is, just watch the line. Every single play, somebody's holding somebody.
Right. For sure.
And that's one of the big ones that I think of is, like, all you got to do is call a holding penalty. Like, they got a 50-yard pass for a touchdown, and it's the wrong team that's scoring a touchdown. You don't want that team to score. Boop, throw a flag. Oh, shit, holding. And then I think sometimes they even do it, like, they do it to where they don't know if something big's going to happen that play or not. And say the team that they want to score the touchdown has a big play, but they just I think they just throw it regardless sometimes. Just like, all right, well, this, the fourth play of this.
And they get together and go, did you see one? Yeah, the 56 over there. All right, holding 56, kind of like that.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, say the team that they want to score the touchdown scores the touchdown, but they threw a flag.
Right.
Then they have their conference, and then they pick the flag up.
Yeah.
They say no flag on this play.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Because they do that often too.
Yeah. They're like, oops, sorry, it slipped.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, like there was this one I was watching, like the biggest, like the biggest blown calls in the NFL or whatever. Like this YouTube video about it, and it was a playoff game a few years ago, and this guy had blatant pass interference, like literally slammed the dude way before the ball got there.
Yeah.
And they didn't call anything. And this was back when the Saints were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
Like, and the entire Saints sideline like almost came onto the field. They were so just out of their minds about it,
right?
Losing their shit. Like, are you kidding me? You didn't call,
right?
Like, that's insane.
Quick snap, Breeze. Pass is incomplete, no flag for Tommy Lee Lewis. Nickel Roby Coleman delivered a hit, and the two officials talk to each other. Crowd's going crazy as there's no flag right on the Saints sideline.
Well, if Nickel Roby Coleman plays the ball, it's an interception. It's probably going the other way with it. I mean, the ball's on the other side of Roby Coleman, but that should have been a penalty. And Sean Payton is justifiably upset.
Mike Pereira, if that was a penalty, that would have in essence ended the game. Did you think it was a penalty?
Yeah, I really do. I know it's easy in slow motion. They're close to bang bang, but that was early enough. Even high contact on the
and clearly contact before the ball got there.
Yeah, he had. I mean, all he was doing was staring down Lewis and just playing the man, and never got turned on. I mean, it can't be any more obvious than that. Yeah, I mean, Sean Payton, he just simply cannot believe it, nor can anyone that's in the...
And then it was like I think it was like the Cowboys or something like that in the playoffs, and the guy had a blatant pass interference call. They threw the flag, right?
Right.
And they threw the flag, and then they huddled up together. And after they got their huddle up together, they picked the flag up.
Yeah.
They fake the handoff. Stafford is incomplete. Flag is thrown. Pettigrew, the intended target, with Hitchens in coverage. Hitchens didn't get his head around, and we'll check and see what the call is.
I just couldn't tell if there was contact. There was a little bit of a grab. There was a little bit of contact in the
pass interference, number 59, defense, automatic first down.
It's a huge call, and we'll check in with Mike Pereira. You like the call?
I'll tell you, the key is if you're the official, you're looking to see if the defender is playing the ball. If he's not, and there is contact as the receiver reaches back for the ball, it is going to be in the defense. That's pass interference.
A huge call. They're going to pick up the flag.
Wow.
Boy, that was late. Have you ever seen that call picked up that late?
Not at all. Obviously, the guy that had the best angle also was the back judge that made the call.
Now it's 4th and 1. And the offense is out there for Detroit.
And they said, oh, there was no pass interference.
Right.
And they're like, it was... Like the guy who was the ref who was watching the play threw the flag.
Right.
And then another ref. This is the
on the field goal line.
So this is the explanation after the game that the refs gave the press, because the press were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
The explanation after the game was that another ref, not the one that was 5 feet from the play,
Right.
but another ref who was 20 yards away from the play, supposedly had a better angle, quote unquote, and said that it actually wasn't pass interference, so they picked the flag up. But then they felt bad about it afterwards, because when they saw after the game, when they saw the replays of it, that they knew that it actually was pass interference.
Right. Yeah, I got a couple things for you. One, totally. But I know you're talking about the holding thing. You can almost call holding every single time. I was going to say this earlier. I remember seeing something, an interview with it was like a behind the scenes, and I don't remember who they were talking about, but they talk about having if you ever watch the team you're playing, so like what they'll do is they'll get the gloves the same color as the jerseys as the team they're playing,
right,
to mask, because if you don't, then you can just tell. And the coaches hate that shit, and they're like, hey, stop wearing those fucking stark white gloves when we're playing the Steelers. That shit pops,
Right. Right.
And it makes you go, well, the reason they're doing that is because they are literally holding every time.
Yeah.
And they're just, the rest are just like, that one wasn't that bad. There's a lot of, well, we need this one, if you're going towards the rig side of things. But but it also made me think about how wishy-washy, this is more like, I've noticed this in the NBA a little bit more, they'll call, they'll let a call slide, let's say somebody, get a charge, charging, or, maybe it was goaltending, just something, they should have called something, they let it slide. Then 2 plays later, they will call something supremely walking, which that's a thing. There's one for the NBA. Holy shit! I don't know what a walk is anymore after watching tutorials in the NBA, because I didn't know you could take 4 fucking steps, and it's the holding. If you think about it, it's the holding of NBA of you fucking walk, you can't take 4 steps, and they're like, no, it's you can you stop and you can step once, and then that's a pivot on that foot, and then you can jump. I'm like, no, it's a fucking walk,
right?
In all terms, but for some of the NBA's did whatever, made it wishy-washy, but it's the same thing. It was they won't call something here, which maybe it was
I've seen guys go all the way from the free throw line to the hoop,
dude,
without a single dribble,
dude. Yeah, and they're just and they just walk through it and just move the ball back and forth. You're like, damn, dude. I know you got long leg span, but holy shit,
right?
But yeah, it's the thing where they call a foul on someone, and they make it from the 3-point line, so they not only do they get the extra point, they get to shoot 2 shots, and then they felt bad about it because it was a bogus call. So then down the road, maybe 2 plays later, they call one on that same team that they were in favor of, but now maybe that other team didn't make any points off of it,
right?
So there you go, you just I gave 3 to this one, and I shaved 2 off of this one.
Yeah.
Which it's that being a lot more fast game, people just kind of let it happen and move on.
Right.
They get pissed, move on. Football, it's a little bit more. I feel like you got time to think about it. And you're like, that was not.
Yeah. Well, in basketball too, if you're that good of a player,
yeah,
you can do some shit.
Oh yeah.
If you're that good, you can intentionally just bounce it off the rim a few times.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're trying to shave points and do shit like that,
yeah,
and nobody would be able to tell.
Right. Oh, dude, yeah. If I was shaving points, I'd be chucking it from half court.
I would just be playing regular because I'm not going to make anything anyway. Because I'm a fat white guy. And that's how I play.
Dreams come true. Yeah. No,
Hold on. Speaking of basketball and fat white guys, fat white people, is telling Waylon.
Yeah.
Mandy is down in the basement and is overhearing this, and she's telling me about it later. And then I heard it firsthand afterwards. But she's telling Waylon, you know, I almost had a career in basketball. And Waylon said, you did? and she says, yes, I almost had a career in basketball. And then somebody told me that I was too short. She's like, I was really good. And I was thinking about making a career out of playing basketball. But then somebody told me that I was too short to play and that I'd never be that good. And that person was my elementary school teacher.
Why don't you just bleep their names? Because that's so wild. Elementary school?
Elementary school. She said that she was going to make a career. So then my wife is telling me about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe the names. My wife was telling me about this, and I didn't believe her. I'm like, there's no way she was saying that.
Yeah.
The very next day, I'm sitting there, and she starts saying that, because she'll say the same thing many times over and over.
Right.
Starts saying that exact thing to Waylon, because he was talking about hockey. We were talking about hockey.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't really know much about hockey. Basketball was always my sport. I was always really good at basketball. And I knew that she hadn't told me that.
Yeah.
But I already knew where it was going. So you know how I'll just egg. So I was like, so you're really good at basketball, huh? And she was like, yeah. I'll tell you what, I was planning on making a career out of it. I'm like, a career, huh? You're going to go all the way to the WNBA.
Right.
And she's like, maybe. She's like, I was really good. Honestly, I was very good.
Yeah.
And then I had somebody tell me that I was too short. Actually, it was my elementary school teacher told me that I was too short to play. And she's like, and my mom really went off on that teacher and just told her what was up. But unfortunately, they wouldn't let me on the team anymore after that. So I couldn't make a career out of it.
Good Lord. That is a wild story. I also thought about making a basketball career in elementary school. I really did. I have a notebook.
You were in elementary school.
I know. Well, that was going to be my next question. Was this person in elementary school with it, or did she just run across her elementary school when she was in high school? Because that's like a whole different format. Because like a career is a weird way to put it in elementary school.
Yeah, she was in elementary school.
Yeah.
But she had it, from what I gather, she had it set in her mind that that's what she was going to grow up and do.
Yeah.
That she was going to be a professional basketball player.
Dude, that's like, I did too. I also thought I was going to be a doctor. Like I was like, all right, actually, my gut, like I actually have a notebook somewhere around here where we had to do a journal, and we did it for like 2 weeks in elementary school. And I don't know why the teachers went, and we were, every day we'd write in it. And one of the days, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I said, I want to go to UK, play basketball for UK, and then become a doctor. That was my goals when I was a kid. None were really that achievable, but you know, it was a kid thing. Also, they said, what's your favorite car to drive? I said a tank.
Yeah.
So whatever. I would have been a tank driving basketball player, doctor.
I wanted to be a cowboy.
Yeah. I did also want to be a rock star.
I wanted to be a cowboy.
That's the closest one I've got.
Yeah. I want to wear a cowboy hat and have a 6-shooter on my hip.
You can still live that dream.
I mean, I still could.
Your dream is more achievable than the 3 I've named.
Like, I don't even have to go to school for that. I just
no.
Put it on.
You can just show up places. I was like, I can't. Neither one of like basketball player, doctor, rock star. I think I have a better chance of becoming a rock star than becoming a doctor at this point. Unless I become a doctorate of, I don't know, English or something. No, that's not going to happen. It'd have to be some kind of math. Even that. I suck at English. Even though I technically have an associate's in English, just so as everybody know. I just didn't apply for it. They told me. I went to community college before I went to other college, an actual university. And before I left, they goes, hey, just so you know, you can apply and get associates in English because of how much English I had to take because I was so damn bad at it that they made me retake all these high school courses.
Yeah.
Because I'm just, like, math, I tested out of so much math. But English, they're like, no, you need to go back a couple years and redo this shit. And because I had to redo all this English shit and I had to do all this other stuff that I had actually got enough points and done enough to get an associate's in English, and I called and told all my friends, and we all had a great laugh about it together.
That's
how
awesome.
bad I am at English.
Wow.
And I would have had a certificate saying,
that's amazing.
You're not as bad as you think you are.
Yeah.
Which is still a lie.
That was my best subject.
God.
That was what I went to school for.
No.
Yeah. I loved English. I love creative writing and all that. See, and then being a comedian, how do you not love creative writing?
I'm a great storyteller. That's what it
is. That's what that is.
But I can't. It's pen to paper. I'm great. I'm an auditorial learner, so I'm good at listening and repeating. But my brain moves faster than my hands can type or write, and then my mom's kind of this way. We have a very dry sense of writing. Where I had English teacher goes like, you have a very logical way of writing. She's like, you don't put a lot of it was like her nice way of going, you suck at writing. You should write
nonfiction.
Nonfiction how-to books.
Yeah.
Of like,
dude, there's a big market for that out there.
So if I do, I'm either gonna write that or a kid's book. I feel like it'd be easy for me. But yeah, because like she was like, yeah, you literally go this because of this because of this. I'm like, yeah, is that not how?
Do a kid's how-to book.
Yeah. How to piss off your parents. But yeah, that's just that's just the way things are. At least granted, not to get too deep into this, but like my dad's side of the family, all we do is sit around and tell stories. They are better storytellers than me tenfold. My dad is way better than me, and I've been on stage in front of hundreds of people. He would, if he got his shit together and got up on stage, he would destroy me. But that's just what they do. They do it.
Your dad is hilarious.
Yeah, funniest fucking guy. Like he's a great storyteller,
and he's not. I feel like he's not even trying to be funny.
No, that's it. It's just what it is. He just has this like loaded bag of great stories that he can just. All he needs is a trigger word and just boom, story, boom, gotcha. Like he knows. Like I know how to get stories out of him because I know what's the sequence to unlock the code. But it's not just him. He has 8 brothers and sisters. When they would sit around the table, it's just they're going around just telling the funniest shit you've ever heard in your life. So yeah, storytellers. Yeah. Every single one of the guys suck at English.
I gotta get your dad on Soberless Thoughts here.
Well, one day.
I keep trying to talk my dad into it, and he refuses.
I don't know why. I always feel like your dad would do it before mine.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah. Like he's not a shy guy. He's very outgoing and outspoken. But
that's what makes me.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is what it is.
He doesn't want his stories known to the world, is what it is.
Then why tell him?
I don't know. He doesn't mind me knowing it, and I guess he doesn't mind me retelling it.
Right.
as long as it's not from the horse's mouth, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. One of these days we'll get mine on here. I would just like to get. I would like a podcast. Well, I would say that. Save that for another time. Anyway, so sports betting, NFL rigged, NBA rigged.
Do you think so? What do you think about this whole Taylor Swift thing? Because there's been a whole. First of all, it's been politicized like crazy lately. Like all of a sudden, you got a lot of people saying that, like, why the there's a lot of people that are like, why the fuck do they keep showing Taylor Swift on a I'm trying to watch football.
Yeah.
Why do they keep cutting to Taylor fucking Swift?
I can answer that in a more wholesome way, other than crazy aluminum hat conspiracy. She alone, I was reading the statistic, has helped generate upwards of like an extra $100 and something million for the NFL and by extension the Chiefs.
Yeah,
because Taylor Swift, like I've heard people say this, Taylor Swift is like, I kept hearing people go, she's like Michael Jackson. I'm like, no, there's no fucking way. Like Michael Jackson had swoons of people all over the world that would just like obliterate his hotel just to get a glimpse of him, right? I was like, there's no way she's that level. And the more I see it, I'm like, she's almost there.
Yeah.
Almost. She ain't there yet, but she is getting there. And it's just, I've noticed, a lot more of the ladies tend to like Taylor Swift. They're big fans. I went to...
Are all the Swifties buying Kelsey jerseys now?
Yeah, but that's essentially it. They're all on the Chiefs. They're all rooting for the Chiefs and buying Chiefs things. It literally just because Taylor. Now, if they break up, holy shit, is that going to be a fallout for the Chiefs? Like, you think people are burning Nike shit with the Colin Kaepernick thing? Fucking wait if he breaks her heart or cheats on him. There's gonna be a fucking line of Swifties like, his guy's an asshole, just burning shit in their front yard they all got broken up with. It's gonna be crazy.
It's going to happen too.
Yeah, it will. And then she's going to write a song about it, and then they're all going to buy up that shit because they all went through it together.
There will be a whole fucking album, not just the song.
Yeah. Oh, but there'll be one song that just right there. That's going to be the single that'll be put out.
Yep.
We'll all hear it for the next 10 years. But yeah, dude, I went to a bar where there was, oh my God, I can't even explain this. Taylor Swift came to Cincinnati. Okay, let's get that out of the way. And then I happened to go to a bar that I did not know Taylor Swift. I did know Taylor Swift is in town because everyone was talking about it and how they were talking about how it's like literally changing the local economy,
right?
Because everyone's out spending money, and I also like they were changing traffic patterns to deal with this, which, like I said, is getting close to that ultra stardom. But I went into this bar, and I mean, this place was huge, and it had every seat, every inch of it was covered full of women, all wearing glamour, pink, bedazzled, shiny shit.
Right.
And it was every age group. And this was like a family-friendly-ish bar, but I mean, this was like a giant corridor, and it was packed to the gills. And we just looked at, I would just look, came in, looked around, went, nope, and walked right the hell back out.
Nope.
Yeah, because it was just like, it was going to take me like 30 minutes to go get a beer.
Oh, yeah. Because
I'd have to push through it, and then, yeah, dude, it was insane the amount of people, and I wasn't expecting it. I thought it was like, cool, no one's going to be here.
Right.
Wrong.
It's all ratings, dude. It's all.
I mean, yeah.
They showed. I seen the statistic from the very first game when they started dating that she showed up at.
Right.
It was like 12 seconds of screen time that she had for that whole game, of like a 3.5 hour game.
Yeah.
And then it just progressively got more and more to this past game.
Right.
Last weekend was like a little over a minute. It was like a minute and a half of screen
Wow.
time.
There's players that don't get that much screen time.
Right. So like whenever Travis Kelce would get a just a catch, they'd immediately cut. Instead of cutting to a replay of the play, they cut to
what does Taylor think?
Taylor in the up in the boxes. It's like so. But they've noticed also that every time the more they show of her, the more people are watching the game.
Right.
And it adds to the
the viewers, the sponsors,
right? All that
money generated,
all that.
That's nuts. And I used to think they showed Jack Nicholson a lot for the LA Lakers. You're like, oh, there's Jackie Boy again, just sitting there pissed off or happy and just arms crossed, just.
So there's all kinds of conspiracy theories and thoughts of why. So we've got Republicans and Democrats fighting over this. You got so like Democrats because Taylor Swift is a huge liberal, right?
Right.
So she's got all the Democrats are like, or no, all the Republicans are like, nobody wants to see fucking Taylor Swift out there,
right?
And then you got all the Democrats who are like get off Taylor's nuts, like
you leave her alone.
Yeah, she's just doing her thing.
Yeah.
And then you got the other ones that are like we don't really give a shit. We just want to watch
the everyday
football.
person. Yeah,
we just want to watch football.
Yeah.
Like, who cares one way or the other?
Right.
But when you think about it, as much as that has blown up the second half of the NFL season,
right?
How could they not have Kansas City in the Super Bowl?
Right. I mean, that's the big. They're like, ever since that became like sixth man is real, and it's Taylor Swift,
and it's Taylor. She is.
Yeah.
She is the 12th man in football.
Right.
She is, and it's like. For a while there, the conspiracy going around was about the logo of the NFL, right? The Super Bowl logo, the color scheme for the Super Bowl logo.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I could see that.
That was going around for a long time because the last few Super Bowls, they bring out the logo for the Super Bowl midway through the season.
Yeah.
And it always has some kind of color code to it where it's two separate colors as part of the logo.
Yeah.
And like for the last 4 years, every single time that logo, the two colors just happened to match the two colors of the two teams that were in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So like when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl a few years ago, they played the LA Rams and it was orange and yellow.
Yeah. Which is a weird two colors to put together.
Right. It's always a weird two colors.
Yeah.
And then it matches the two teams at the end of the year. And then you're like, well, no fucking wonder.
Yeah.
And then that was the whole conspiracy going around is the NFL rigged? And then they bring out this logo, and then that's a hint as to what teams are going in. So the logo that was brought out for this Super Bowl was red and purple. So people thought that it was going to be San Francisco and the Baltimore Ravens because they're purple.
Oh, purple. For some reason, I was thinking the Saints, but they're gold and black.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ravens.
Yeah.
Until
because the logo came out before Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift started dating.
Ooh.
And then they're like, well,
someone in the Illuminati pulled an audible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So here's the other thing.
Yeah.
There's that. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's another conspiracy that I heard recently that I just love.
Oh, goody. I can't wait.
I just love, and it involves Taylor Swift as well.
Yeah.
The very first game that Taylor Swift went to was at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City.
Okay.
And it was, well, I don't know if it was at Arrowhead Stadium or not. Regardless,
Yeah.
I'll cut that out.
Yeah. Hey, don't leave it in. Whatever.
The very first game that Taylor Swift went to after her and Travis Kelce began their relationship. In that VIP suite with her was Ryan Reynolds and what's the guy's name that plays Wolverine?
Oh my God, Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
Who are going to be starring together in Deadpool 3.
Right.
Which comes out this summer.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
I'm so invested in this right now.
So Taylor Swift is in the VIP suite.
Okay.
Everybody knows, this is all over the internet, that she's now dating Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So everybody knows that they're going to be cutting up to that suite all the time.
Right.
So who is always right at her side that entire time is Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman standing right next to her.
Nice.
Every single time they cut to Taylor Swift, you also see Ryan Reynolds' face and Hugh Jackman's face.
Right.
Big old smiles on their faces, waving to the camera.
Right, of course.
Okay.
Like, I'm making bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
The very first trailer for Deadpool 3 comes out when? Super Bowl Sunday.
Shut the fuck up. Are you for real?
I'm for real.
I should know that as a nerd.
Comes out. It'll be one of the commercials in the
for the Super Bowl.
Oh. Okay. Ryan Reynolds has taken it upon himself for all Deadpool movies to be the advertising for the Deadpool movies.
Yeah.
He's done it all himself.
Right.
He on his own Instagram page, his own Twitter and all that stuff.
Right.
He's done all the publicity for it.
Right.
It's all been his ideas for all this. What if Blake Lively, who is Ryan Reynolds' wife,
right,
who is also best friends with Taylor Swift?
Yes, they are.
What if Ryan Reynolds is sitting at home, he's watching this podcast that Travis Kelce was on with his brother, in which he tells his brother that he wanted to meet up with Taylor Swift after she had her concert at Arrowhead Stadium, and was wanting to give her, because all her fans do these friendship bracelet things, right?
Right.
So he was going to give her a friendship bracelet with his phone number on it, and be like, "Call me."
Yeah.
You know. But for whatever reason, he couldn't get in to see her. Like, she wasn't seeing any, whatever it was, for whatever reason, he couldn't get in to see her.
Right.
And so he was making this big deal about it on this podcast that he did with his brother.
Yeah.
About how he was heartbroken because he wanted to see Taylor Swift and give her this thing, and, shoot his shot, you know, and he didn't get his chance.
Right.
So the rumor is Ryan Reynolds just happened to see that podcast, and then his brain starts thinking. And he says, this is it. This is what I need to do to get my advertising for Deadpool 3.
Right.
And he calls up his wife, and he's like, we need to talk to Taylor.
Yeah.
About what? Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. I like it. I like where this is going. I like it a lot.
So there's a quote-unquote Cupid who's unknown to the public that heard the podcast, called Taylor Swift, and arranged for Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift to get together.
Yeah.
And ever since then, they've been inseparable, supposedly.
Right. Now, the suite Like, if you want to think of like, oh, like he got him good because he thinks, you know, they're alike. But if you go further down the rabbit hole, you're like, this is a great, like, that's amazing. Like, what better way to publicize and to cement you into the Super Bowl than to bring one of the biggest stars attached to our, you know.
So here's what a lot of people are thinking, that Taylor Swift is going to be part of the Deadpool 3 trailer.
Oh,
like,
wow.
they think that she has a cameo in the movie playing a mutant called, like, the Dazzler or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
It's like a female pop star.
Yeah. Oh, God, I know who you're talking about. Who the hell is that? Yeah. Something like that.
But supposedly, people are saying that she had this small cameo role in the movie as this character, and she's going to be part of the trailer.
Yep, the Dazzler,
and will be in the VIP suites at the Super Bowl with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman again.
Oh,
full
God.
circle.
Yeah. See, I thought it was going to be causality and effect from, not that they're lowering celebrities, but they're not making big bucks. They're basically, all right, I think there's a tier system in celebrities. I'm going to veer off for a quick second. And I think, like, you know, there's guys that, like, buy and get, like, basically there's the guys that perform and the guys that own the building is the way to, the small way to put it, right? So what I thought you were going to say was that he got those two together. He noticed that once they got together, and then or maybe even from that interaction, that everyone was watching this. He goes, all right, this is a good way to promote. They got together, and he's like, all right, now this is my in, but someone else whose brain is nothing but money and marketing and stuff like that, who's an owner of the NFL, an owner of probably like a corporation that owns sub-corporations, right? One of those guys sees this and goes, that. It's like, you can't manipulate the masses any better than that. And they see that they, like, these celebrities kind of accidentally, like, do it, and then they go, we need to reproduce it. She now has to get with Travis, and they got to stay together because we need more promotion. We need more of this. We need more people on the Super Bowl and more people betting because we want to make this the best year for whatever reason.
Well, dude, yeah, there's got to be people like that. There's got to be people who only think, how do I make money off of this situation?
Right. They just see dollar signs.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking that. I did not think it was like a grand scheme to promote Deadpool 3, which I love this one. I'm a huge fan of that. I just like the idea that Ryan Reynolds is like, good. Go, Taylor. Make this the best Deadpool. Because it would be. And it's, of course, you know, then it goes back to the whole, like, is it, like, we at my job have talked about this, like, is it publicity stunt? You know, you always hear about, like, two celebrities, like, being seen in public, but they're not actually together, but it makes it look like they're together, and the paparazzi gives them something to talk about, something to focus on, and helps promote the things they're in, because they're, you know, any publicity is good publicity kind of thing, right?
Right.
So let's boil that down. Like, do you think it's real? Is it real love? Is it true love? Or is it truly situational?
Okay, so from what I've seen of Travis Kelce,
right,
off the field, in interviews, just talking, Travis Kelce is a piece of shit. I'm just going to put it out there.
I was not expecting that at all. I thought you were gonna say he's fucking doe-eyed, big puppy dog.
No, man, he is a piece of shit, man. His personality is fucked. It is.
I don't think I've actually paid that much attention. All right, go on.
Like, King douchebag is
Okay.
what this guy is.
Very I did get that very brotastic.
Yeah, he's douched out. Like
Yeah.
he's way beyond fucking Grunk even.
I mean, I guess if you think about him trying to go up and give a friendship bracelet with your phone number on it, instead of just being an adult and talking to him and like, hey, you want to go out? Like, I'm a celebrity, you're a celebrity. We're both in shape. We're both hot. Let's do this. You know, like,
Right,
which
right.
don't say that either, but you know what I mean. Normal way people date. I don't know how celebrities date.
That's how I tried to pick up Ashley Simpson.
Like, I'm hot, you're hot. Let's do this.
No, I went to. She had a concert at the Mall of America in Minnesota.
Yeah,
and she was signing shit afterwards. And I found this T-shirt in the mall that said reality star runner up. It was like best reality star runner up or hottest reality star runner up, something like that.
Yeah,
because she had that reality show with her that was out, and her sister Ashley or Jessica Simpson had a way bigger show of her, right?
Right.
So,
With Nick, whatever.
Nick Lachey.
Lachey.
Yeah. So
can't remember his last name.
So I got this T-shirt that basically said she was the second better, the second better sister, and I went up and wrote my phone number on the T-shirt and gave it to her, and told her to call me.
It was like you know what negging is? Where you say something negative, but then you enforce it with something positive.
Yeah.
You kind of did a celebrity version of that. You're like, hey, you're not as hot as your sister, but you're cute enough. Oh, shit.
I was in my prime at the time. I thought I had a shot.
Full of testosterone.
Thought I had a shot. She never called me.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Still waiting.
Yep. Don't have the same phone number.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
she's been calling this whole time.
Yeah. She's like, God, who is this?
Yeah. I like the way he talks to me.
Well.
So yeah, not true love, huh? Brotastic.
Dude, well, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I've never really watched or paid any attention to Taylor Swift, like, interviews and stuff like that, and what, like, so I looked at, because I was trying to figure this out myself the other day, and I was like, who has she dated in the past, and what would be her type as far as, like, personality wise?
I know she dated John Mayer.
Like, if she would go for the total douche like that, and that's what I saw, was John Mayer in her lineup of exes. And that's what I thought. There is no bigger douchebag than John Mayer.
Oh my God, like, I don't know. It's also like the perception. Like, I don't know what these people are like behind closed doors, but like, oh damn, I see what you're saying. I see remnants.
That being said,
yeah,
it makes me think maybe she does like him. Maybe she is into the douchebags.
Yeah. She likes. Maybe, I mean, she's a celebrity that gets whatever she wants. She likes someone to, like, put her in her place kind of thing. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, people
well,
like.
Of all the guys that she's dated, he's definitely the one guy that could pick her up with one hand and throw her on the bed.
Oh, true. I was thinking more or less just like, you know, it's not like it's I didn't want that to come off like like a female male kind of thing. I was thinking more like power of like people in corporate jobs that have like extreme power and they tell everyone what to do, and they go into dominatrixes and get the shit kicked out of them because they like to feel the helplessness. And I'm like, I feel like celebrities, especially someone that's so fond of her, needs someone that maybe does that, like treats them like another human being would. And that's kind of like a vibe of like the nonchalantness of the douchery, I guess, if you want to put it that way, where they don't treat her like some like mystical being on a pedestal. They're just like, whatever. Like, I'm going in here.
I don't think that's how it is though. I think
You don't
he
think so?
definitely puts her on a pedestal.
Yeah.
I mean, he was trying to shoot his shot with the bracelet and all that kind of, and then was whining and crying about it to his brother on the podcast, which
But
got
that's
the whole thing
beginning.
started.
Now he's in.
Oh, now he's in. Now he's just like, I've
just-
been there, done
Just
that.
Tay-Tay, bruh.
Yes.
Yeah. High five, bro. Nailed that. I don't know. I don't know.
That's their nicknames for each other, by the way.
Tay-Tay.
Tay, and Trav.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I was making that shit up.
I swear.
I swear I was making that up.
Yeah.
I was just like, well, if I was brotastic, how well? Yeah, Tay-Tay. What does he? What does she call him? Che-Che? Trav. Yeah. Maybe I am a little brotastic because I call Cassie Cass all the time.
It's okay.
Of course, I was also a fan of Supernatural.
Yeah.
And I'm Dean Winchester in this situation. I'm like, Cass, we got to go.
I can see that for sure.
Just a little fun I have with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were definitely a dean.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hell yeah. Pay me out my way. All right. But yeah, I like to believe. I think that's what everybody does. Is they like to believe it's true love out there, not situational.
Right.
There's all the conspiracy heads, all the money grubbers, all the people that don't feel a heart in their chest. Think it's all make believe and slap together.
Good. Well, that's two of us. We both believe in true love.
Yeah,
that's good.
Because there's guys at work that they're like, I think it's all publicity. I'm like, you heartless monster.
Well, we'll find out if right after
we'll
the Super
find
Bowl.
Super Bowl Sunday.
There's some people that are guessing
they break up if they lose.
He proposes to her on the 50-yard line in front of the world,
dude,
during the Super Bowl.
There are babies going to be made that night. Throughout the world, because it's going to swell up so many people.
Oh yeah. Speaking of babies being made, what is another term for coming in a woman's vagina?
Cream pie.
Besides cream pie. Grandpa Banks texted me this and asked me this question this morning.
Do you want something funny
That's
or do you
what
want
I
something
woke
real?
up
I don't know which way you're reaching.
Either way.
Either way. I don't know, dropping a load? Like what? I don't.
He said his answer was putting a load in a dishwasher.
Oh, God. Ah, damn it, Banks. Grampy's out of control again.
Right. So he was like, he sent it to me as a joke. Here, let me pull it up on my phone.
Of course it was a joke.
He sent it to me as a joke. He's like, what's another saying for coming inside a woman? And this is what he's waking me up to. I'm like, what? And he's like, loading the dishwasher.
God.
And then, so my response to him was a whole list of other things that I just came up with on the spot because that's how my brain works.
Right.
So I said, what about shooting up the club or creaming the donut or filling the bathtub or the oops baby or a drop in the bucket or busting the pipes or overflowing the slip and slide or the goose gusher.
The goose gusher.
And he's like, what the fuck? And then I said, but none of those are my personal favorite because my personal favorite is, oops, I just put another Jew in the oven.
Oh, damn. Holy shit. Dude.
He said,
yeah, I bet he did. Damn, dude. That. I mean, if I was Jewish. Oh, God bless. That one took me off guard.
Back to sports betting.
Yeah, sports betting.
We haven't talked about betting at all yet. We need to do that because we're already an hour in.
Right. I was going to say.
So I think that's the real issue is people are making money off big time money.
Yeah.
And it's been going on for forever.
Yeah.
Boxing is notorious for it.
Right.
I guess all those professional sports that are the easiest to do it in.
Right.
Like fighting.
I mean, boxing. Fighting.
Do you think
for
UFC?
Sure.
You think there's some shenanigans going on in the UFC?
I think there could be.
I think it's very easy to do, though.
I think it would be easy to do, but I feel like it's such, and maybe this is a cover up, but I feel like it would be, I don't know how to put it, but I feel like there's more honor at stake. It's not as corporatized, and you don't have as many people with fingers in the pot yet. I definitely think it could be, but I think right now it's still like,
I feel like it's something that they also use though to blow up their stars. Like,
yeah,
personally, I think that was how Conor McGregor got so huge.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, he had 4 or 5 knockouts within seconds, like a Mike Tyson type shit.
Right.
Dude is the size of my leg.
Right.
Like, those weight classes don't just annihilate people like that.
Right.
It doesn't happen.
No, for sure. Yeah.
So for him to have a knockout within seconds,
yeah,
like in multiple ones like that, when he was building up to his fame,
right?
Like, I think they saw a guy who had all this outgoing spunk and like
right swagger,
and all this swagger to him,
yeah.
And they're like, how do we're going to build this guy up, and he was the face of the franchise,
right,
for a while there. And then I feel like once he became, the champ in 2 different weight classes and all this other bullshit,
yeah,
they're like, okay, now that you're on top, these other guys are like, we're fighting for the title. We're not going to take a dive.
Right.
Like, we're fighting for the title.
Right.
And then you got that fucking Russian guy that comes in there and is like, I will murder this motherfucker. I will murder this motherfucker. And he came in there and just destroyed him.
Hey, I've got something on that, by the way. I just was watching something about the Russian guy.
Yeah.
There's a thing that they're finding out, basically going with yours, like, yes, like could have been like they actually brought someone to take him down because he's getting too popular. But I literally just saw this thing, and it might be a cover, whatever. But it was the thing about tribal athletes, and he was one of them. And it talks about like these people that don't have the traditional Western training. Like, you see it more in like Kenya with long distance runners, but there was also like a woman in like, it was in South America, or Central America, South America, maybe like, I want to say like maybe Peru or something like that. But she like won a medal by the time she's like in her 20s, and she was like running in a dress and sandals, and she outran like all these women from across the world. And they talk about how other, and it's just like the way they're brought up, the way they're not training per se, but there's just like what they do on a daily activity. And they were talking about that Russian guy, and I guess the way he was brought up was very like rough, and like he just, they're talking about his background and like fighting and stuff like that. Kind of like when underground fighters go into the UFC, sometimes they whoop ass, sometimes they don't, but just depends on where they come from. But they were talking about that's why it's like a different breed. Like, they just train at a different level, and they just come in and just whoop ass in whatever they're doing because they've been doing it at such a young age, but not like systematically with technique, but they just have the endurance. And it's kind of like I've heard people say about like when they go to the South and get football players, especially large dudes that worked on farms, and they just have a different endurance about them. And I've heard that more than once. And it's because like they go to football practice, some football players then just go home, fucking throw on the Xbox, fucking, twiddle around, go try to hook up with their girlfriend down the street, whatever. But then you got these other dudes that are like, fucking 6'5", same size dude, but then they have to go out and go throw hay bales for the next fucking 12 hours and then doing shit like that. And they just talking about like they just have a different like mindset, different mentality, different like muscle endurance because they've used to doing this shit over and over all damn day. And then when they get to the next level, they're already like ahead because they're just like, dude, I got it. Boom, I can do this. I can keep it going. Like it's one of those things.
Right.
But yeah, it was just funny you brought that fight up because like, dude, I just watched something about that. And it was just such an interesting way of putting it. It was also, it was just, like I said, interesting way of thinking about it where I was like, I mean, I guess, those people that all they do is train, but they're not actually doing other things other than training that would actually maybe help them.
Right.
Or whatever,
Right. Right. And then I think about, so with Conor McGregor, I think about like, what has he done since?
Yeah.
Lost.
No. Well, that goes.
He's done nothing but loss. Well, he's lost everything since then. Like,
Right.
Lose, 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 lose.
Right. I've seen him throw drinks at people at clubs a lot lately.
Yeah, but like, and now he's trying to make like a comeback in the UFC or whatever, but it's like.
It's not going to happen.
No, like, dude,
It never happens.
No.
The rule is, for me, if you're good at the UFC, you have to stay in the UFC and then be defeated at your own terms. But if you leave and try to come back, you'll never be good enough. Dude, it happens with everybody. Happened with Rampage. He went and made freaking A-Team, came back, stomped.
Yep.
Ronda Rousey. Wait, did she leave? Yeah, she left. She went WWE, came back, got stomped. Conor McGregor went and fought Mayweather, came back, boom, stomped. Like, you got to stay in it. You got to stay in the fire.
Yeah.
It's the only way to win in that.
Yep.
But that's also why it makes me, because if it was rigged, they would want to promote the UFC. They would want someone to leave and come back and then give them one good hurrah.
No, they want them to leave. They want them to come back and get stopped.
And then have the next one?
No, they want them to come back and get fucked up by their UFC person.
True. To say only UFC people can do it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good way of point. That's a good point. Good point.
Yeah.
I do like that.
So here's what I'm thinking with sports betting. I'm thinking that the things that are easier to be swayed, like fighting,
right,
like horse racing, like things like that, baseball,
right,
I think there's a lot better chance that shit in the NBA, that shit is getting rigged.
Right.
That it's a lot easier for that to happen in those sports.
Right.
I feel like unless the refs are 100% at it and the players are 100% at it, the NFL is different.
Right.
It's a different game.
A lot of moving parts.
It's too much.
Yeah.
There's too much. You got too much other shit going on.
Right.
You've got fumbles. You've got these crazy one-handed catches that are. There's
no way to recreate it.
Yeah, there's no way to even practice shit like that.
Right.
There's like the Kansas City, the Kansas City and Ravens game that they had last week, where the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens throws the ball, it bounces off of somebody else, he catches it himself, and then takes off running for like 20 yards.
Right.
Like, that's not, you don't practice shit like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, they practice a lot.
Like, that stuff doesn't happen.
Right.
And there's so much that happens throughout 4 quarters of a football game.
For sure.
That you just can't practice. There can't be an NFL script. There can be, they want this team to win.
Yeah.
Like, they want Kansas City to win because they want to keep pulling in those people for Taylor Swift,
right,
for Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
But they can't say it's going to be, for sure every single play is scripted. I can't see that. I can, however, see this team will win.
Right.
And this team will win within this amount of points.
Yeah.
For the spread.
For sure.
for the betting.
Yeah.
That's what I can see.
Okay.
And I feel like that's where the holding calls come in.
Yeah.
That's where the picked up calls where they're like, oh, well, never mind all that and all that shit.
Yeah.
That's where that comes in. And that's why nowadays in the NFL, you don't see these 56-3 blowouts like you used to see in the NFL.
Right.
Like that just simply doesn't happen anymore. And I think the reason why is the point spread in the betting.
Totally. You gotta keep it closer.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good point. I hadn't think about that. Money.
It's all about the money.
It's always money.
It's always the money.
Yeah. No, I dig that. I can totally see what you're saying.
All right. Well, you want to read about this Taylor Swift as a CIA plant?
No, not really. I put it on there. I thought it was funny. I mean, obviously, I would say it's a plant to do exactly what we said, but instead of Ryan Reynolds, what was that about? Bo Jackson, early Bucks team. No, this just says Taylor Swift, the Travis thing's too cute. It's just insinuating. All right, think about it. Before now, what was the greatest conspiracy theory of the last century? The JFK assassination after the president killed in Dallas, Cuban CIA mafia shootings, the entire nation except the football. 48 hours later, they were tossing the pigskin across grassy knolls everywhere. Have you ever? I don't know. This seems random. All right. I just saw it. I just was a funny title to me. Is Taylor Swift, and I just honestly just wanted to put her picture up there with him so I can look at something. But yeah, that's all.
Have you seen all the Taylor Swift AI generated porn out there? Basically,
I mean, isn't that like every celebrity with AI?
No, but it got real crazy after they won this last game.
Oh, I'm sure. I know AI generated porn is definitely it was like, who didn't see that coming? Basically, yeah. It's like, well, of course, like if they can face swap people and they have AI, like they're just gonna like, well, who's my favorite celebrity? Let me think of my favorite position.
Yeah, but they're like doing like
whole videos and shit.
No. It was like, the entire Kansas City offensive line and her, or like her in the stands naked just getting ran through, or like it was some crazy ass shit, dude.
I know that this has happened with other celebrities, but we only gave a shit when it happened to Taylor.
It's true.
So
it's true.
When in doubt, don't cross Taylor Swift.
Don't ever cross Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she'll fuck you up.
She's the goat.
Yep. That's it. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's the goat. The end.
She's the goat. All right. Where can they find us?
Oh, you can find us.
Oh, wait. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
Taylor Swift.
All right, where can they find us?
You can find us on all social medias: Facebook, Instagram. I think we still have Twitter at Think Soberless. You can find all our videos; they are up on YouTube. I think we just got some up on Rumble. So you can go find some of our videos there. I think on Rumble you can find the ones that are harder to find because we have done movie reviews where we watch the movies, we go over it, but YouTube doesn't like us doing that shit.
We got to do that again soon.
I know that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Speaking of that, dude, did you get my? I sent you a text, but you never acknowledged it.
Sorry. I also wake up and see these things and just roll over and start my day.
I was at the bar the other night, and on the TV behind the bar, they were playing Velocipaster.
Yes. Oh, no. I did see that. And I think I started to text you. And I was at work. That's what it was, because I work nights. I was like, dude, I know it because I brought it up to the guys at work.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you want to know the greatest, worst movie ever is? Fucking Velocipaster.
Yeah.
And then I started telling them about Rubber and I told him not, because one of them also brought up, hey, have you seen that the man who killed Hitler and Bigfoot? And I was like,
Yeah.
don't watch that. That shit's sad.
No, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible and it's sad. Like, it made me feel weird inside.
Yeah. So like we go in and we're standing at the bar. I'm getting ready to order my drink, and I look up at the TV, and it's the scene where they're like laughing back and forth for like 5 minutes. And I'm like,
that's the greatest thing.
And I'm like, holy shit, this is Velocipaster.
Yeah.
And the bartender's like, yeah, man, I got it on, like, he had like a digital version of it. He's like, whenever there's no sports or nothing on, I just throw that movie on all the time. I'm like, oh yeah.
Dude, it's such a stupid movie. It's a great stupid movie.
Speaking of rubber, so last night I watched Nope with my son, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, like, spoiler alert, in Nope, they have like this second, like, not alternate, but like just this like other thing going on for one of the characters, a very like minimal, hardly has any screen time character.
Yeah.
But like 20 minutes of screen time is dedicated to the backstory of this character, right? How he like was part of this TV show when he was a kid. He was a child actor, and on the TV show, this chimp went crazy and killed all the people on the fucking show.
Holy shit.
Except for him.
Yeah.
Right? And they keep cutting to back in the 80s when, for no reason.
Like a Batman flashback?
For no fucking reason. Right?
Chimps.
Right? So, because that guy's hardly in this movie at all.
Right.
But they keep going back to this backstory for no reason.
Right.
So at the end of the movie, my son looks at me and he's like, what was the whole point of the backstory of that chimp? The whole chimp thing. Like, it made no sense. Like, why did they for the backstory for this guy that is no part of the movie at all?
Right.
Like, what's the point?
Right.
And I was like, you know what the point is? Let's watch the beginning of Rubber.
Well done. Well done.
So I played, and which Rubber, if you don't know, is free on Tubi right now.
It's great.
The first 5 minutes is the monologue of this guy, and that's the whole point of the monologue, is there is no point in all these movies. Just because. And anyway, so we watched that, and then he just looks at me and he's like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. This is too much, Dad. This is too much. You have overloaded his brain. He's gonna be thinking about that shit for weeks now. Like, just cause, huh?
Just cause.
Yeah.
Just cause. All right. When you find yourself in a skillet, you need to stay cheesy, keep it greasy, and flip on out. Boom.
In the Steven Spielberg movie E.T., why is the alien brown? No reason. In Love Story, why did the two characters fall madly in love with each other? No reason. In Oliver Stone's JFK, why is the president suddenly assassinated by some stranger? No reason. In the excellent Chainsaw Massacre by Tobe Hooper, why don't we ever see the characters go to the bathroom or wash their hands like people do in real life? Absolutely no reason. Worse, in The Pianist by Polanski, how come this guy has to hide and live like a bum when he plays the piano so well? Once again, the answer is no reason. I could go on for hours with more examples. The list is endless. You probably never gave it a thought. But all great films, without exception, contain an important element of no reason. And you know why? Because life itself is filled with no reason. Why can't we see the air all around us? No reason. Why are we always thinking? No reason. Why do some people love sausages and other people hate sausages? No fucking reason.
Come on, don't waste your time explaining that garbage. Let's go.
Just a minute, let me finish. Ladies, gentlemen, the film you are about to see today is an homage to the no reason, that most powerful element of style.